Welcome to the Transformation Institute's podcast for change. Here is our host, Omari Jahi Aton.
Hey, y'all, I don't know what's going on, but hey, peace and welcome to the Transformation Institute podcast for change. I'm your host, Omari Jahi. And tonight we're going to be talking about the Black agenda. Every election cycle, politics come to our neighborhoods talking about the Black agenda. But we ask 10 different people what that agenda actually is, you'll get 10 different answers probably. A secret document? Or is it just about voting maybe? Or is it about building our own wealth and building our families? We really don't know because, we hear about this Black agenda, but we don't know what it is because ain't nobody ever shared it with us. But on today's episode of the Transformation Institute podcast for change, we're breaking down this Black agenda, looking at the multi-lanes, highway that all these different organizations and at times had created this thing called a Black agenda. All of these organizations create their own Black agenda at different times and tried to get our politicians to address those during election seasons. And a lot of these things, civil rights, economic employment, and we're checking in the Oval Office. We want to see if these so-called politicians, these presidents that we quote unquote have elected, we want to see if they actually did anything for Black people. We are grading their history, these so-called presidents. But before I do that, I want to welcome to the show my co-host. So put your hands together for Miss Brenda, Miss Londa, V. Put your hands together for V. And put your hands together for Miss Kim. Me too, in the building. Yes. Hey, welcome, guys. How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Yep,
well,
pretty
that's
good.
great. That's great. This agenda thing, I don't know y'all, but I have and I'm serious, I have no clue about what the Black agenda is. I can guess about, equal opportunity. You can say a lot of different things, but I really don't know what this is. And then if I did some research, discovered some key points about what this Black agenda is about. And tonight I want us to look at it and to see, do we know of any president that have actually addressed a Black agenda or campaigned on something for Black people? And you would think Obama did, but when we take a look, you'll be surprised. He did a lot for people. I give him that. He did a lot for the gays and transsexuals and stuff like that. But for his own, not much. So on Facebook, I saw this post. Bring it up. There it is. And it says, be here. Who's the best president? We got A, Donald Trump, B, Obama, and C, I don't even know why he's on here. This the son of a Bush. That ain't the daddy Bush. This the son of a Bush. And so who's the best president? Now, I'm going to share my screen because I want to go on this post on Facebook and show some of the responses that people were saying, as far as who's the best president. Hold on, let me share my screen. All right. Okay. here. Here's a guy named Omar. He says, by wide margin, meaning Obama. Okay. Oh, who else we got? That's popping up. We got a young lady named Lisa. Yeah, really? Yeah. I guess she like, why you asking me some that? Another young lady says, B, Obama. Antoinette said Obama. Lori. Now, I'm with Lori. Lori says none of them. Ain't none of them the president. Then keep going. We see Obama, B, Obama, B, Obama. Uh-oh. Michael said, hey, Trump. Absolutely, Trump. Hey, I don't know. B, Obama. Different peas of the same pod. I don't know what he meant by that, but I can assume he's saying ain't damn one of them worth a dime. Same thing, just different peas. I'm thinking that's what he's saying. I'm assuming that's what. But sharing my screen as we went on, as I went on, you can see that the majority of the people were saying Obama. That he's the president that's the best president. You know. Hold on, we ain't got Vanessa here. She can't help me out. So, welcome to the show. Who is that? Minister. Okay, Minister, welcome to the show. But to me, this is the only president, and I ain't even vote, but this is the only president that I know of that's ever did anything for black people. And he do it because he cared for black people. He did it because black people made him. Back in his days, black people organized. They made this president do some things for black folks. You know, he didn't come in office. I think maybe 2 years in his term that they finally got to him. And he started doing some things for black people. You know, dealing with civil rights and stuff. That was during his era in the 60s. And so he the only one I can see that I don't know how many presidents it's been. There's been a bunch of them, including Biden. You can put him in the bunch. Now, that's my opinion again. Ain't none of them get jackhammer for black people. My opinion. But what do you all think? Y'all think Obama did something for black folks?
You're going in and out.
Oh, I'm going in and out?
To me, I don't know about everybody else.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Can y'all hear me? Oh, can you hear me? I can turn my
mic
a little bit. Can you hear me? It's still going in and out? Hello?
Yeah, not now.
Hello? Am I still going in and
out? Not at this moment.
Oh, okay. Okay. So maybe y'all didn't hear me. Now, I was saying, you know, that JFK is the only one that did anything for black people, in my opinion. But that was only because back in the 60s, black people were more organized. And together, we forced to do something for black for dealing with the civil rights and stuff. Do y'all think the president and JFK deplete? Well, I ain't gonna say you should say, but do y'all think there was a president that did something for black people?
I don't know. I kind of don't delve into politics a lot. You know, I just would hear things on the news or something sometimes. But I was born in 1960, so I was in the 60s, but I was a little girl, so I don't really know. But from what I hear or heard afterwards, I think a lot of black people liked JFK better. I mean, I think from what I heard, he was like the most popular president, that he done some things. I know today I read about that, like you said, he finally did some things after being in office for a little while already. And maybe he had to because of, like you say, the people organized and did things and demanded stuff. even though today in 2026, which is so many years away from back then, people are organizing and it doesn't seem to matter. So I don't know if that says that he was a really good guy, president, or it was the sign of the times. I don't think he was a prejudiced president. I think he must have had some goodness in his heart or something. Um, you know.
Right.
You
And
know.
another reason why he he did something for black people. He's the only one being killed.
He was the only one what?
He's the one was murdered. Y'all can't still? Hello?
Yeah,
You
I'm
breaking
having a
in and
hard
out
time.
again.
Yeah,
Why
the
is
in
my
and out thing.
the hell? I don't know why my mic in and out. Sure y'all can hear, but it just keep going in and out still.
Yeah, just periodically.
Jesus.
I mean, we can hear you, but it's like
Oh,
intermittent, so you do break up here and there.
okay. All this equipment and micing up. It's crazy. But I really do believe that again that JFK was reluctant. He was reluctant to helping black people. But well, the
You think he
presidents
was
that was
reluctant, you say?
oh heck yeah, he was.
Oh,
I think he was reluctant to help black people, but he did it because a lot of pressure on him to do it. NAACP back in the day, and all these different black organizations, and then with Dr. King was doing his thing, Malcolm X, everybody was happening back in that time. They was putting a lot of pressure dealing with civil rights. He signed a lot of civil rights things, bills and stuff like that to get black people civil rights. He was the president, and then he got assassinated. Matter of fact, him and his brother was assassinated. And then who was that? Malcolm X got assassinated. It was the King first. It was Malcolm X, and then King got assassinated. So during that time when black people were getting rights, a whole lot of assassinations was going on.
so it's safe to say that they didn't want us to.
Go ahead, Brenda. What we say?
So I'm saying, so it's safe to say that we were never really wanted to have any kind of control. Everything that during the times when blacks was really trying to do things, people got assassinated, people got killed because of them allowing blacks to do things. So in 2026 seems like nothing has changed, and or one thing I see that's changed is that you mentioned the people, the black organizations. If we still have them, they're not real out front. There's not a whole lot coming and putting a lot of pressure, at least not from what I see. Like I said, I'm not very political, but I don't see a lot of stuff coming that can threaten presidencies and stuff, or change some things real big right now. I'm not seeing that myself.
Yeah, but that's what the black agenda was for. These are created when president, mayors, and aldermen and all these folks would when election time around and they want black people to vote for them. We're supposed to present them with our agenda. If you want our vote, you're supposed to do this, or your campaign on this, But none of us really know what that agenda is. And then who was presenting it to these politicians? We still voted for them, even though they didn't do nothing for black people. Nothing. They didn't do anything. But I mean, let's just look at the track record on some of these folks. Who we got? We got George W. Bush here. You know, he started the faith-based stuff that funded local mentorship. That's George W. Bush. And we think that was something for Black people, don't we? You know, because he got the preachers paid and bought for. That's really what that's all about. So, faith-based. Now, you see preachers in the pulpit, not preachers, I'm sorry, politicians in the pulpit election time, preachers bringing them in, talking to this congregation about voting. Happening before faith. You see? So it seems like he did it. It looked like he was doing something for us, didn't it? But it really wasn't. It wasn't for us. It was all about them getting control over these churches, so that they can there and with the help of the preacher, talk their congregation into vote for them. It was we just had an election. Who was it? Was it Alden? Was it Alderman? It was election just passed by. Was it
Congressman? I know that was part of it.
Oh, right. Where's that guy? He won. Yeah. You know,
LaShawn K. Ford.
And people, they get votes, but they ain't doing nothing, you know, for us. Other than, you know, I remember that. What's that other guy? He's a singer. What is his name? Y'all know the guy. He from passing out money.
Willie.
Yeah, there you go, Wilson.
Willie Wilson.
Yeah. Willie Wilson come around and pass out money to get you to vote for him, so that if there's any other Black person running. Now, again, this is my opinion. I'm seeing this stuff. I'm not saying that any of you all should think or believe any of this. This is my opinion. That Wilson is hands out people to vote for him, and you know he had people lined up getting gas. I remember they could vote for him, and it takes votes away from any other Black person. So if it's a Black vote with Willie Wilson, some other Black person get in, or someone else gets into office. These are the tricks that they play. What is Yolanda saying?
But Willie Wilson didn't run for anything this time, did he?
Not this time. No.
Oh,
I'm talking about when he did. I'm talking about when he did run. You know, that's what he was.
Oh, okay. Because I know he was still giving gas, and he was still giving money for gas this time. I remember that.
You see, but what did Yolanda say? If Trump can again, he will and get in. See, what we go about ban Trump? He's the last one on the list. You know, if we with this thing, you know, where is it at? We already got Bush. The only thing he did that's supposed to be for Black folks was his faith-based initiative. Now, let's go to our favorite president because he was Black, right? The systemic push for justice and my brother's keeper. That's some BS if I ain't never heard of it. What is that? What is that supposed to be, my keeper? Systemic push for justice. You know, I don't know. I told y'all when I looked
Is that
at
his
Obama's
agenda?
thing,
Was that his agenda?
that's what he did for Black
Was that his
people.
agenda? The system?
No, his agenda was gay marriages. If y'all remember, his thing was so gay people get married. His thing was for transvestites. If you remember, you know, they was talking about bathrooms. You remember how a should be able to go if it was a man, call it, if he's himself to be a woman, go into the women's bathroom. Obama pushing that, making it into a law, pushing those kind of things. You see,
Mm.
he didn't do not one thing for black folk but make us look good because he was black and he was a president. And everybody was proud because he was in the Oval Office. But he was a thing for us, not one thing.
Okay, just so I can understand.
Comments. Who's this?
So I can understand. So when the presidents run, is there the black agenda? Is that something that's a standard thing, like when they're going to run for president? Let's say this. In my mind, they apply to run for president, and they have to write out what their agenda is, why they want to run. Is that what an agenda is? And we call it the black agenda, but are there white agendas? Are there just agendas for presidents, or is that something that black people came up with when we're talking about us trying to figure out who to vote for? Is that agenda thing a part of running for presidency, or what is that?
They are just created, and multiple ones. There's many of them. It's not because many people created the NAACP. They created a black agenda. Who else? There's a couple of more organizations. But yes, it was created so that we have something to present to these people that were running. Or they was coming to our community meetings. They was coming to our churches. They was coming to black folks. Period. So for me, the best candidate for all, the best candidate for mayor, I'm the best candidate for president. And we
Do
said,
we all know?
Do we all know
sorry.
what?
Do we all know what the actual title for the president is? Like, the president has one job and one job only. Technically, he's the chief and commander of the military. He is the leader, basically based off that description. He does not do anything for us by us. Like that's not what he does. Like your Congress, well, your senators and your Congress, like they're the people that implement. That's the real election that you should be focused on, not the president. They pretty much gonna put whoever they want in that office. That has nothing to do with us. Like we focus on the wrong thing. Like the president is basically your commander in chief of the military.
But we vote for him.
They make you think that you do, but technically you don't. You vote for you vote for Congress, and Congress votes for him. You don't go up there and just say this like that's not how it goes. Like you vote for Congress and you tell Congress what it is that you want, and Congress goes and casts their vote. Like that's how that works. That doesn't they don't tally up the American people and say you got 7.5 million people that actually voted for you and you had 3.2 and now you won because of that. That's not how that works.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm understanding. We go to the polls and we push the thing for who was just running. It was Trump against somebody. Who was Trump running against?
The lady, Kamala.
Was it Kamala? Yeah, Kamala Harris. We go to the polls.
Kamala, I don't know how she pronounces it.
Yeah, Kamala, something like that. But we vote for her. And what you're saying is our vote don't matter because they're gonna put in office who want to put in office. And our vote only matters when it comes to Congress, mayor.
Yeah.
The lower
the whole thing is completely backwards. Like, and let me just say, my opinion from my education purposes only, that's completely backwards. You're supposed to, if you want, the whole thing doesn't matter anyway, but let's just say the focus is focused on the wrong thing. It's another trick of the American broadcast system. That's not how that works. So they make all of these commercials and they do the politics and the campaigns and they raise money for presidential elections when that doesn't matter. That's what propaganda puts on the TV, on the news, on every channel, 2, 5, 7, 9, 12. That's how it goes for those months. And that's what they put. But when it's time for you to vote for your judges in your Congress and the people that actually make the rules in your legislation, you don't get that type of media attention, because that's what really matters. That's the one that they don't want you to go to. That's the one that they don't want you to stand up for. They don't want you to be there. So they put the presidential election in your face, and that's the one that doesn't really matter. So we're all been tricked again. And I mean, y'all could use ChatGPT. If we have some viewers that actually want to use ChatGPT, y'all could use Gemini, AI, whoever. That doesn't matter. And again, it only matters. The things that matters, we're tricked to not knowing it. It's another lack of things. If y'all don't know, then we get to get away with whatever we want to still, and the cycle's gonna keep going. That presidential stuff has no meaning. It's just the face of the 13 corporations. It's the face of the United States of America. That's what it is. It's the face, the person that they put in office as the face to say this person is in charge. That's pretty much it. You're supposed to sign the bill. You don't make them. You sign the bill that Congress gave to you.
So, okay. So now dealing with the Black agenda. The Black agenda is supposed to be in place because when congressmen, senators, and things like that, when they run for office, if they're the ones that are making the laws, right, then they need our vote in order to become Congress. Like just this guy.
You don't attend those things.
What do you mean?
When was the last time anybody went to Springfield, Illinois, the Chicago natives and everybody else? Like, when was the last time you actually went to your headquarters? When was the last time you ever attended a meeting? Like the neighborhood, to show up and show out, besides somebody being killed on social media in broad daylight for injustice. When was the last time y'all ever actually went there and said, I'm here representing the people of whatever, and this is my opinion, this is what we want, this is what we do? Like, nobody does that. We don't do that because we don't know to do that. That's why it doesn't matter.
That's why we're talking about the Black agenda tonight, because the Black agenda.
But it's not really. I don't think for educational purposes, I don't think that it's really technically a Black agenda. The word Black means dead anyway, and they don't care about us. Like one of the viewers had made a comment earlier and was like, all of these presidents are basically from the past. What about us now? What do we do for each other? Are we going to continue to depend and expect for somebody else to take care of, and they done showed you for 400 years that they don't give a damn? Or are we going to do it ourselves because we still saying what they're doing? Like, what are we going to do? Take care of ourselves, because clearly nobody else is going to do it.
No, I agree with you.
So do you really think if we go to the meeting and attend the community meetings, you really think that that's going to wait, somebody, do you really think that that will matter? Do you really think that?
I think that it will play a role. I'm still not. It will have some significance. Is what I think. It will have some significance, but
don't you think that would have to be a lot of people, more than just a few?
It definitely will. 50 people's not going to do the trick. Not 50 people in one state. They're state representatives. Like that. I don't think that is going to make a difference. But it's just like, and I'll just use this as an example. When the ICE people were just here, most people stood up and said, get that shit out of here. Like, we're not going for it. We don't want them here. We're not going to have them here. And as quickly as they came, it started to dilute itself because the people said, we're not going for it. Like, it's just not going to happen. So again, what do y'all think will happen if every time, and this is just me, this is for entertainment purposes only now, but what would y'all think happen if every time somebody injusticely killed one of our Black men, we instantly on site as the people to protect ourselves killed the person that killed them? If you just gonna pull the trigger in front of us as a community because we have the right to bear arms, we just pulled the trigger on you because we got our own justice. If that was to happen every single time, I guarantee you they would not do it. They will not do it. They wouldn't.
Well,
If you think everybody had $1 million life insurance policy out on Black men, regardless if it's your brother, your son, your nephew, your cousin, your husband, uncle, whoever, if we had $1 million policy out on Black men, period, and every time y'all offed one of ours, you paid us $1 million, everybody would be totally fine then. Like they wouldn't do it. But we have a small voice only when something bad happens to us, and we think that that's supposed to make the change. Like I mean, you have to stand on business at all times, and I'm not depending on nobody to do nothing for us.
Okay, let me ask. Do you all feel that Israel has some kind of pull in the United States? It's a yes or no question.
Nobody said. I have no idea.
Israel. Now, the United States and Israel is in this thing about Iran, right? So I guess I'm asking about lobbies. Y'all heard about lobbyists, people that lobby, politicians to sign bills, benefit government or country or their people and that nature. The Black agenda was for Black people to lobby these same for us. But the problem is all of our leaders is dead. We don't have no lobby for us. Farrakhan, him and Jesse Jacket. Since then, ain't none. But Hispanic, they have somebody that can speak for Jews. They have somebody speak for them, But the agenda is a good thing. But the problem is we don't have nobody lobbying these people. Nobody.
And that's because the Black people
don't need
or the melanated people are the most empowered people ever. Yet we tend to forget that. So what they use is fear. And then every time we have, bless you, whoever did that. But whenever we have a leader, an advocate, what tends to happen? Like when I was a teenager, I was applaud that Farrakhan he did the Million Man March or 1 Million Woman March, like that he brought 1 million people together at one time. And then that was too much for them, too much for the other powers that be. They probably shook in their boots. They probably got scared because if he was to actually if that movement was to continue, the game's over, the board is flipped over. We know, we remember, and we not backing down. They were scared of that. So I totally believe that, he was silenced in a bit after that because we ain't heard too much from it after that. What do they do? What happens to people in the celebrities? It's a sacrifice, I believe, that actually happens in order to get that behind the scene power, or people and their families start coming up dead or missing. We could talk about Kobe, we could talk about Prince, we could talk about Mike, we could talk about Whitney, we could talk about Bill Cosby, we could talk about R. Kelly, we could talk about them all, that as soon as it was too much, that's what happens. And as long as you depend on them, you pretty much give them the seat of power, because without you, there is no power. If you don't depend on them for anything, there is no need for them. The government per se, or the powers that be.
I understand. No.
And that's just my 2 cents, and I'm gonna be quiet now.
No, I agree with you on 2 cents. The challenge is, and the reason for is for us to be aware of the fact that there is an agenda. Also, for us to be aware that we've had multiple presidents, even though, but neither one of them have done anything for us as a people. And I already know what you're saying, that they ain't supposed to. I get that. I understand that. Mm-hmm. But even if it ain't the president, even Congress ain't doing nothing for us. The aldermen ain't doing nothing for us. The mayor ain't doing
because
nothing for
why?
us.
Why would they? Nobody cares about us, period. The melanated people are the most poorest represented people ever. because again, we forget who we are. They know exactly who we are. Everybody else, the Chinese, the Asians, the Philippines, the Arabians, everybody else know who we are except for us, because we have forgotten. When too many of us, and I mean, like, maybe we will wake up, maybe you don't, but it's too many controlling variables per se. So you have religion controlling some, you got LGBTQ, and don't get me wrong, I love humanity, but the broader that has gotten, it's an agenda, it's a secret agenda behind it, because if they impose that on your kids, like right now in school, your kid only know male and female, woman or man. They have no idea of what they teaching them. They already have a secret agenda. That's why they targeting our kids now. So by the time our kids become our age, it's normal. It's considered normal that this stuff happens. And if you
Yes.
control the narrative of masculinity and femininity swapped, then what happens? Birth control, reproduction, it decreases significantly. That's their way of birth controlling us and genociding us, in a sense, by, and again, this is for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take our video down. But I'm just saying, it's my personal opinion. But that's what happens. Like, I don't think there's an actual agenda that's played out from A to P. Who are the representatives of the Black people for the Black agenda? Who do we go to? Who do we
Right.
contact, call, email,
Right.
and say, hey, I don't agree with this. We don't want this. This is our neighborhood. I got this petition. Make it stop.
But see, again,
Yeah.
but that's the purpose for this podcast, to bring awareness to people of the things that you are saying, the Black agenda, what it really is, what the Black agenda is, and if, because let's agree with this, there are other nationalities and other ethnic groups that are being serviced by the government. The all of those immigrants that were brought in and housed, and somebody lobbied for them and for that to happen. And somebody in government says, hey, that's a good idea. We should do that. You see what I'm saying? They ain't just wake up one morning and say, hey, maybe we should go and let a whole bunch of immigrants come into the United States. You know, somebody lobbied for that. And what I'm saying
So
is there's nobody lobbying for that.
So somebody lobbied
No.
and said, at some point, we're going to let all of Venezuelans people in, and we're going to let them sit on the concrete in front of the police stations, the fire departments, the libraries, the public things. We're going to give them tents. We're going to give them food. We're going to give them water. We're then going to put them in housing. And then, not knowing that 2 years later, 4 years later, you're going to come and bring ICE in to take some other people away. And how is anybody an illegal or an immigrant on stolen land to begin with? That's the problem that I be having, is that we be focused on the wrong stuff. Like, it's literally the wrong stuff.
And what if somebody did not wait? And then we got to read what Minister 01 is saying. We got to kind of acknowledge our people here. I don't know. I believe we should get out and put in overtime in our communities to clean up the atrocities that plagued us for centuries. I'm not sure that in our communities, I'm not seeing anything in our communities that anyone, know any alderman. I mean, I know my alderman. I know who she is. I'm not seeing anything done. I'm not seeing, and if people aren't coming out, which we're not, and I have to say that I've only gone to a few things sometimes when I'm upset about things, and I do need to do better, and I do want to do better. But if we're not coming out, and we got good aldermen in our communities, then if to know that they are good means that the people aren't coming out, but the aldermen are doing something to get out to the people. They need to get out to the people. Because sometimes, we can't get us together. We can't even get our families together. So we know sometimes we can't get us together. But if we get somebody who comes into the community, like the alderman and whatever else we got, I don't even know whatever other offices are in our communities anymore. It used to be a time we saw their meetings on television, and we knew stuff and we heard stuff on the news. So everything seems to be kind of buried. And I can say that we do this to ourselves, but if when we're choosing these people, looking for congressmen and aldermen and all of that, really, what are we going by? Because what have they done to make us want to get them? And they're not bringing us together. Nobody's bringing us together. Sometimes some people need other people to bring them together. So, I mean, I know we can start with me, telling my neighbor, telling the next neighbor. We could start there. But in our communities, everybody's not on one accord. But if our aldermen came through to things, when we had block club parties, or when we had things in the park, big events in the park, if they came with something and they had people behind them and they took us with them, I believe that maybe we get better. I mean, I don't know. That's this is not for entertainment purposes only. This is a plea for us to get together.
But I mean, you have a valid point. But I remember as a teenager, in the south suburbs, I remember like in Harvey and Dismore, Illinois, it was like Kellogg, like he was like the mayor of the cities, but like he actually went out and he went to different events and he took his team of people with him. And that's how he became to be popular and things like that, because he wanted to do something different in his community. Like that's what I can remember. And I remember like people back in the day, like back in maybe the 80s and the 90s, like when we were coming up, like literally, I remember they used to come out and ask you questions door to door, just like the cable people, like just like the life insurance people used to come to your door and knock on it. Like I remember them coming out back then. You don't see anything about campaigning unless it's raising money. They want your dollars, your tax dollars, your donation dollars to do something for one specific purpose. But other than that, nobody's coming out to save us. Nobody's coming out to ask you, hey, Brenda, what's going on in your neighborhood right now? What do you see an issue with? The kids can't get, they don't have a recreational center. That's why they outside doing dumb stuff, because they have no help. Like nobody's coming to save us. Like I don't see it anymore. And I would say in the last 20 years plus, I haven't.
Right.
I don't know about y'all.
I agree.
But I don't see nobody coming out to do it.
But let's understand why though. Let's really understand why nobody's trying to save Black people. Because whenever somebody stands up and tries to speak against the atrocities that's being done to Black people, for Black people, person gets attacked. It's just if you just look at it, Mike Paxson spoke against a record company and said,
breaking up again.
Oh wow! See, this is what I don't like. Why is it that when it's a powerful subject like this, all of a sudden my mic wants to have challenges? We don't think. Do you think that's a coincidence? I don't. I know it's not a coincidence. They don't want this kind of information getting out to people, and if it is, they want to confuse it by muffling my voice or breaking it up in some kind of way. But we got to understand, when Michael Jackson came out against Sony Records, he was talking about how they were mistreating Black people. It happened to Michael Jackson. He got a case, a molestation case. You see what I'm saying? What happened to Kanye West when he got? It's crazy. I mean, and then what do Black people do to support these people that are speaking out against them? Soon as Michael was accused, them little boys, the Black people was like, I can't believe he's a pervert. I can't believe Michael Jackson. We turned on our leaders quick as hell.
And that's absolutely correct.
So why would anybody want to be a leader for us? That's why we ain't got none.
Again, it's a trick. And because they know that once they put it in the media, whether it's the radio station, people don't read newspapers, magazines anymore, I don't think. But if it's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media platform it's on, if it starts trending, if it goes viral, whatever it is, it's controlled again by the media. If they know that you are going to basically disown one of your own, the plan worked. That's exactly what they want you to do because they know that you're going to do it. So if you don't uphold your own that actually cares, and Michael Jackson could have been warning y'all about the Neverland. So you mean it's a coincidence that Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Kanye West, all of those things happened to all of our people, and nobody said nothing. We talked about it amongst each other, but nobody actually advocated for them, whether in their presence or in their absence. However, your POTUS or your leader of the country at this present moment literally came in, hurt people, sent ICE in, and your wife is an immigrant. You're actually on Epstein files released to the public, and you're a molester yourself. You got all these charges against you, and you still able to hold one of the known as most important seats in the United States of America. And again, nobody says nothing. Nobody gets overthrown because, again, they feel that they could do whatever it is that they want to do, and we fall for it because we let them.
Mm-hmm.
So you think if we said something, if we talked, us Black folks talked about what he did, which we do talk, I guess we don't talk about it on a big screen. Nobody's letting us have meetings on television, on the news, and talk about it. But a lot of us do, even Caucasians in every race, talks about the fact that he was a felon, and a Black felon could have never even been on a ballot. We know all this and talk about this. Do you think there's any way that the people who you say don't care would allow our conversation to mean something?
Absolutely. Money talks and bullcrap walks. I got a few personal opinions on how that can happen. Number one, when they shut the government down, why did the rest of us pay taxes? Why do we pay taxes during the time that the government is shut down? Because what do we pay you for? We pay you for protection, security, and resources. So if you're not performing at the time and you're not upholding your fiduciary responsibility, why did billions of us, why did the rest of us continue to pay them? If everybody filed exempt and said, until you do right by us, it's a no. It's a no. And I don't mean 1,000 people. I mean all of us. Everybody has to be on the same page, because why am I paying tax dollars for you not to perform? And just like on blackouts, and I think we did the thing with Target where they lost so much money in that one day that none of us shopped like that. You gotta stand on business, because if none of us shopped, none of us spent money, none of us paid taxes, I guarantee you it will shake something up and it will move. That's my first thing. It's like, literally, what happens if we just say, everybody, like, literally just say, I'm not going to work until you get this together. So no bills get paid. And I mean, nobody gets paid. What they gonna do?
Well, see, you're talking, what you're great. It's good information, but no way you're going to be effective with that kind of activity when you're just united. When there's no unity and there's no leadership. I don't know who's doing all that crunching, but can y'all mute yourself? I'll mute you. Wait, that was Brenda. Okay. But can we do that individually? You see, and that's operate now. Individual in the cities, they operate collectively.
I just want to let you know that you breaking up and we not really hearing nothing you saying.
Oh wow! Again. Okay, I'm gonna talk slow, and maybe it'll maybe if I talk slow. How can we be effective if we are unified? How can we have the effect that we want to? The people of the 60s, they were unified. That civil rights movement had leadership, and it was all over. It wasn't just in one neighborhood, one block. It was all over. But how we're talking about tonight? How can we get our message and get people to see what we're seeing tonight all over the world if we don't have any control of the delivery mechanism? Like tonight, how many people are going to be allowed to see this podcast?
Mhm.
Do we have any control?
That's
No.
we gotta market ourselves. We gotta engage. We gotta interact. And so, I mean, like it's stuff for us to do more too behind the scenes as a team. But you're right. For those viewers that are watching, for those to engage and interact with a comment or an email or a text or whatever it is that they want, like for them to share it, for them to invite people, like those are things that has to happen because it's a small team in a small community right now. But in order to get it to grow, I think it has to be like active engagement. Like we're gonna have to market ourselves. The people that actually come and visit us, once they hear and they want to get involved too, it's gonna be help. It's gonna have to be all hands on deck.
But
So
we
each
going are
one
you gonna have to
send the amount they can to the people they can, and tell the people that they send to send to and send to. I mean, that's the start. That's what I see. That's the start.
well, I
I
believe
mean,
it has
I
to
already
be
do that.
I believe we have to get off the World Wide Web. We have to get off the internet and we have to take this to the streets. We can't be on social media talking and talking because somebody else controls who's gonna hear it. But if you out in the can't nobody control what you say it, and who hears it. Nobody can control that. So until we find the courage and the time, because we ain't got time to do hardly nothing, you know. Until we find the courage and the time, say, this be done, and I'm be a part of doing it. Go out in the streets and something like what we're doing in a public forum where people are there, 20, 40 people are here, and it starts to spread, they're doing something. We on here, I consider this the plan, to be honest with you. We on the plantation like slaves, hollering, hollering on the plantation, wondering why the other slaves on the other plantations can't understand or don't know what we're saying. There's somebody
I'm
doing
okay if
this.
we say one at a time. If one person gets the aha moment from me, I'm okay with that.
Well, I'm not. See, at some point, I'm taking it to the streets. I'm just letting y'all know. At some point, I'm gonna take it to the streets. But I go old school. I stand on the damn bullhorn and say what I gotta say. And then before you know it, they're gonna come up with videos and stuff of me or all kind of crap saying that I done robbed. They got fakes, right? They can make me look like I'm having my car into a bank and that I'm robbing. I'm telling you what they do. Everybody will believe that. Oh man, I ain't know DJ was like that. He bogus. DJ bogus. That's the first damn thing they say. They'll shit in a minute. Instead of saying, no, my brother wouldn't do no crazy like that. Don't say shit like that. We're gonna believe every damn thing they say. And that's the problem because we don't support our leaders. And so leaders say F us. I ain't putting my life and the life of my family on the line for people that don't even appreciate the fact that I'm putting my life on the line for us. That's why we ain't got no damn. Jesse Jackson was the last one. Show since him. None. But I bet you other groups got leaders, and they can point theirs out. What happened and why we ain't got.
Well, they have leaders because they are organized. It's like an organized crime. I mean, they're organized. When you have organizations that's actually organized for good, like you have a leader, you have Indians, you have chiefs, you have the community. Like everybody knows their part, everybody plays their role, and that's how they become effective. They don't post every single thing that they do on social media or for the public to see. Your modern day KKK still have meetings to today that nobody know about but them. But again, we are not organized. We don't know how to follow. We don't. Everybody want to lead and don't know nothing. Like it's crazy. But I mean, I get it. it's not too much that we can do if we're not organized. But I mean, I'll just wait for my magic moment, and then I'm gonna take it when I see the opportunity present itself. Because other than that, it'd be like I'm beating a dead horse.
Well, see, again, that's to me, that's that's me mentality and not us mentality because we don't give a damn about us no more. It's all
And we
about
have a
me.
viewer that
See,
says there's a leader in each of us. We have to step up and step out, and I totally agree.
yeah, I agree, but
And
we,
did
but
y'all hear
it's
what
good when
Yolanda
you.
said earlier? What did y'all see what Yolanda said about the man, the retired man right there, her stuff up right there? Look, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, we don't help each other in that area.
No, we don't. But see, again, because we have a mentality. We don't even have conversations and use the word us no more. You know, it's what's in it for me. What you gonna do for me? Or what have you done for me lately? It ain't about us.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 60s, they was talking about we as a people will get to the promised land. We, us. They were using those type of terminology. And today, we don't give a damn. So, like,
That's
Well,
probably
let us
because
this is my closing. This is my closing. As a people, until we get past this selfishness that inflicted upon us, and programmed to be this kind of selfish kind of. If we can't get past that, like the children of Israel, you remember they had wandered in the wilderness for 40 years until them old heads off. And the children, see, I say about these kids, they wild as hell. They be wilding out, but their anger is real. And what they are pissed off about is real. The problem that they have, there's no organization, there's no structured plan to what they're doing. They're just wilding out, like have throwing tempers, you know. But if that has to, then we all the heads gotta die out before these young, as for the years, may find leadership in some way or another and begin to organize themselves. But it's gonna come from us, because we've given up. And that's my closing thought.
My closing thought is us here on this panel. If we begin to, every time we talk and share with anybody, even outside this panel, we talk as we show love as we have a mindset that we're going to do something. We talk in that tone, not I never talk only I anyway, but it's us. Let's talk us, togetherness. Let us begin to have that mindset and that voice, and then let us, maybe one day, someday, soon, that will be created. We speak things into being. Let us speak it into being. That is my closing thought.
Amen. Brenda.
Yeah.
Anyone else
I
have a
don't know,
closing
man.
thought? We got a, huh?
I'm gonna just say one
You
is
heard
I like what Brenda just said right there. Doing everything like as being one. That's basically what I got from that. Oneness is the key.
yeah.
And I think just when we talking this political thing and stuff, man, I think the politics thing and all that just really messed a lot of whole things up for us. Because it just separated us instead of bringing us together. And I think that's the reason why we can't really get people together to do things, even when we got somebody we trying to like say vote in to whatever to come bring us together, whatnot, man. Everybody has disagreements on certain things, and we can't come together on certain things because we can't agree to disagree or all kind of stuff. But oneness is just the key to all this stuff, man. You got to be together on things, come
It
together
is.
on things.
Amen.
It really is. I agree with that. Oneness is the key. And I think we had a podcast about this a while ago about having leaders, you know, and I think I made a comment, and it makes sense to me. You never seen a body walking around without a head. You know, everything has to have a head if you want it, if it's gonna live, and if it's gonna grow, and if it's gonna evolve. If you cut off the head, the body dies. That's just common biological sense, you know. And if we are walking around without a head, then guess what? We are dead. Londa, you got something to say? Close us out.
I think y'all have great closing thoughts. I agree with everybody here. I wouldn't get caught up in the whole they versus us thing. I will really like closing thoughts, like find one person, one idea, one movement, and stick to it until it's complete, and then come back and share. Like that would be it for me.
Right.
Action.
Loving that. All right. Well, I don't know what happened to Kim. She was having some technical difficulties, it looked like. But I thank everybody for being on. Let me see who we had. We had Minister 01. Minister 01. A lot of comments. Thank you, Minister. That's Carl. That's Carl. Wasn't that Carl, Brenda? Minister 01.
I didn't know Carl is Minister 01.
That looked like his picture. I think that's Carl. Yeah. Minister 01. Thank you, Carl, for coming on. Yolanda, thank you. I don't think anybody else was making comments. Just Yolanda and Carl. Yep. All right, but I thank you for being on. Thank you, co-host. And until next week, we continue to say, think for a change. Until next week.
All righty.
Peace.
Peace out.
Thanks for supporting our podcast. We look forward to see you next Thursday at 8 p.m. We also ask that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. The more subscribers we have, the more YouTube will push our podcast to more viewers. But until then, subscribe also for a peaceful mind. Your activity will reflect that peace.